All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our team call. Today is July 9th, 2024. And I just want to start this meeting off with a huge congratulations to all of you, because as an agency, we have surpassed $5 million. And a special shout out to Ms. Brenda King for over 15K in APV on a repeat client with 5 F&G IULs for children, right? Or grandkids. Yep.
Kids.
Yep.
Yep.
Kids. And just her persistency with staying with it, sticking with it, right? And just goes to show you guys that your annual reviews are worth a lot more than the initial appointment. I mean, and we talk about this all the time, right? Do your annual reviews, do your annual reviews. But I do have some other good news for you guys as well. Is yesterday they finally pulled all of our data from PCS and took it away from the PCS agents that were rogue out there, right? That were contacting our clients that have been here for 13 months. And that all has fallen back into our agency. So now if I see one of your clients that comes up for annual review, it's going to be one of two things, right? I'll reach out to you guys, or if the agent is no longer here, then we'll just run with it on the annual review. So I think it'll help our agency quite a bit. I wasn't too thrilled with the way that they were doing some policy replacements and things like that. So you guys know me, I'm very transparent when it comes to these things. I got a text message yesterday, and that's part of what spawned more of this conversation, was this PCS agent reached out to me regarding my own F&G path setter policy that I set up for myself, that I pay 500 bucks a month on, right? Because I'm setting this up as an additional retirement option for me. I did this a while back, 2022, and telling me that I have better options out there, and that's just not cool. You know what I mean? Like, I know what options I have. I know exactly how I set up my illustration to work for me, so um it just bothers me when someone is outside of the chargeback period and they've already passed the look back period, the 2-year non-contestability, right? And they're trying to replace these policies. So I've had a handful of instances where we had either a final expense policy or a guaranteed issue policy in place already with someone that has bad health, and they're replacing the policies. And you guys know how hard that is already. I mean, you're already on a graded issue, graded guaranteed or a graded policy, it's 3 years, right? Before they get the full benefit. And they replace some of those policies with, so now their non-contestability and their look back period is extended 2 or 3 years. So, when we're working with clients, even as us as agents, one of the things that we want to make sure that we're doing is, if we are replacing a policy, that it's in the best interest of the client and not the best interest of our pocketbook. It's very easy to replace policies, especially if you can get it for $30-$40 cheaper a month. But if it's going to extend their look back period, then it may not make the most sense. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll add a policy, right? And and they'll keep the two policies for 2 years. And then once they've passed their look back or non-contestability on the other one, then they'll cancel the one that might be more expensive. So there's different ways of looking at that. Maybe their health has changed and it might make sense to do a replacement, right? But just I don't do that. We won't cancel it until the other one is approved and in place and in force as well. Okay. So just a couple things to think about. I did want to say though that Brenda did get $100 lead credit. So you just let me know how you want that, Brenda, what kind of leads you're ordering, and I'll get that over to you. And then everyone else that wrote a policy that issue pays will get entered into that drawing for either a conference ticket or a $200 lead credit. So if you've already paid for a conference ticket and you don't want one, and you don't want to give it to someone on your team, then you can just get the $200 lead credit. Okay. So let me know what you guys, and we'll do a live drawing on this call when that happens, just so everyone is here, everyone's available, and it's very transparent. I have not seen the change happen yet, guys, and this is something I wanted to talk about today, was the leads, right? Like how they're changing the structure of the leads, and it still hasn't happened yet. It was supposed to happen yesterday. I haven't seen any changes in opt-in. I haven't seen any changes in HQ. So I'm hoping that's something that gets addressed tomorrow. So that's what I had planned today's call based on. and I'd rather not get into that without being able to share actual pages and whatnot with you guys. So what I decided to do is, wanted to work on objection handling, whether it's appointment setting, whether it's tie down, or whether it's in the appointment itself. So do any of you guys have anything that you're working on currently that you need help with objection handling on? If not, we can just go into a role play. I know it's important. I want everyone to get value out of the leads that you are buying. So for me, it's super important that you guys have all the tools available to you when it comes to objection handling.
So I don't know. Yesterday, my son had baseball tryouts again for the fall, but with a different team. And I was talking to one of the moms, and they own their own company, so they have like life insurance through their company and stuff like that. But I had told her that if she was wanting to, I could take a look and see what kind of policies they have, because they also have other policies. Because obviously she has life insurance. So I was like, well, if you want, I can look at your policies and see if we could possibly like get you more coverage for cheaper or anything like that. Am I wrong in saying something like that? Should I not say stuff like that?
So that's a great question, and the way I like to address that one is you don't want to devalue what you're offering people, right? So you don't want to be cheaper than anyone else. You don't want to devalue the product, right? So what you tell them is, hey, look, it's awesome that you guys have this in place already. Some of the things that we do here in our company is we offer free policy reviews, and part of that is just to make sure that you're getting the best value and the best benefit available to you.
Okay.
Because you don't want to say cheaper ever, right? Just because once you say that, like that word cheap just has a negative connotation, right?
Okay.
And it makes people think that they're probably not going to get a better product, right? And a lot of times we offer better products at a lower premium. But what you can do there, Justine, is if we have a lower premium for the same product or similar product, now you can add value by increasing what they have, right? So if they're paying $100 a month for a $150,000 policy, and you can get them $250,000 for a 30 or 40-year term for the same dollar amount, that's a better value, right? So that might be one way to approach that. Or just, maybe there's something that we can offer you that you guys currently don't have. So just, allow me or an expert on our team to review what you guys are currently doing and see if we can bring value to you guys.
Okay.
Question.
Leonard, I don't know if you heard us, but we're just going over objection handling, whether it's setting the appointment, doing the tie down, and or in an appointment.
I heard the last conversation you had, and I think it was excellent wording on what we offer and reviews without having to lessen or go or put ourselves in a position where we seem like we have the cheaper product, probably less value. That's very important what you said, though. I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so I'm going to mention this because Leonard's coming to us from Senior Life, right? And one of the things that Senior Life tells people is this, right? We can get anyone covered 0 to 89, right? And they literally can. But what they're not telling you is that it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to get that coverage. So there's times and places where that's good. That's great, right? Linda, your breast cancer patient, right? Like Senior Life offers a policy for that, right? And there's only 2 or 3 policies that will offer your client at her age a policy given her current diagnosis, right? So, I mean, there is a time and place for that. But with most of the people that we're dealing with, we already have something. Just on a side note, we are getting Liberty. Give me 1 second. What is the name of it? I had it right here. Liberty Bankers. So that's going to be a new carrier that we're going to be able to offer. You won't be able to get it until you've sold at least 25 policies, but it's something that's coming, and I'll be getting that on SFG quotes as soon as I get access to it as well. So if you guys are over 25 policies, be on the lookout, because I'm just going to automatically send you guys contracting links for that through SuranceBay. I want everyone to have the best, have all their options available to them right away. So does anyone else have an objection that they've heard or something common that keeps coming up that we can work through? Matt, what's a common objection that you get?
Oh man, I would even say just the most common one is I already have it through work, right? Is always a kind of a big one that they even just kind of say to blow you off. Um, what I even tell them there is, well, that is good that you got it, but what do you own? So if you got fired or quit today, like that's what we need to look at. So I kind of nonchalantly bypass. I got it at work. That's kind of my go-to because then they're like, well, what do you mean I don't own it? You know? So that gets them there too. But recently, kind of going through some of my plans right now that I've been doing on the FIF with Craig's team, is they're running into a lot of younger individuals who are like, I don't need this insurance because I'm not married or anything like that, you know? And what they're doing is I told them, I said, go a roundabout way of saying, you're right. It doesn't look like you need this right now, but it looks like yes, it's in the future, but you might benefit more from this. So they're doing a pivot, right? Of agreeing with the client, but then also throwing something else out there, kind of letting them fish for it.
And that's
Those are
when you talk
great.
about the IUL then?
That's just what you talk. You just throw words out. I never throw product names out. I just throw like words that grab their attention, right? Tax free and cash value. That's because you were like, well, what's an IUL? Well, I know what tax free is, so you just grab their attention, um man, just with all the years of it, I would say a lot of being from New Mexico. I know, Michael, you can definitely relate to this one. We ran into this case personally where a lot of the men here are like, I don't want it because she gonna have $1 million with another Sancho, right? That's something we hear a lot in New Mexico, And I heard this from Jama, man. Jama hit this on the head. He says, well, you work all day and you bring home a paycheck. So, like, what's the last check that you want to give your wife? And it's so true. Jama hit the nail on the head on that one.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna post this here. This is perfect. I just pulled this off a switchboard because this is a response that I had sent. So it's a little too long. Let me find a good place to see where I can break it down. All right, let's see if that works. Then they paste the rest of it. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. This is not working the way I want it to. Too many characters, it says.
So I have another one.
Yep.
Let me ask my husband. So I have a friend who I'm still trying, she's a teacher, and her husband works at HP, but his mom just got diagnosed with breast cancer, and my friend's parents aren't in good health either. And so I'm really trying to get her to like set herself up and her kids and even her husband, because I've told her, I'm like, well, what happens, like, I know you're a teacher, so obviously you'll be able to cover the mortgage if something were to happen to your husband. I said, but like, what were to happen if you and your husband left? Like, what would you leave the girls, because they have 2 young girls? And she's like, no, I understand where you're coming from. She's like, I just got to talk to my husband about it. How do I get her to be like, I've already like brought it into the fact that like, okay, what happened if you and your husband passed away? What are you leaving your girls? like what's another response that I could use for her to get the ball rolling?
Are you trying to like give her quotes or set the appointment?
Just to even set the appointment so we can even see like what we could offer her. Like obviously
I,
we would offer her mortgage protection.
Mhm.
Um,
I would tell her, because you don't want to sit with just her. I would tell her, I said, absolutely. I want both of you there, because this is a family plan, and obviously your husband's mom is going through this, and the last thing you want is that same situation, and now he's doesn't even qualify for anything. And then that's when you throw in stories. Stories is what sell. You can even, I mean, you could use mine if you want, you know, and just tell him, be like, look, a guy I work with lost his mom and he didn't get off his couch for 6 months. Like, if income's there, income's there, but like, there's a lot of times where you just want to sit in grief,
yeah.
and that's what sells is these stories. But I would even tell him like, hey, yeah, talk to your husband because I want you both there because this is a family plan and you're obviously going through something. Like, I can't get his mom really anything now, but I can take care of you guys in case something happens to the girls. Because I just got a death claim, guys, last week from a girl. She's 30 years old. She OD'd, in Espanola, New Mexico, and I reached out to the family, and they had no idea she took care of her daughter for $500,000.
Oh,
So like it's there, and it happens, and she was 30 years old.
Well,
yeah. Okay.
Are you guys able to see that screenshot I posted? So I posted an actual screenshot of it, right? So this one goes for the question about being too young. So I understand that you might feel life insurance isn't necessary because you're young. However, this is actually an ideal time to consider it for several reasons, right? And then the list of bullet points: lower premiums, future insurability, debt protection, building cash value, planning for the future. And then, talk about how life insurance is a crucial part of comprehensive financial planning. Because a lot of younger people are actually great at financial planning right now. They've seen what our parents have gone through, right? Or their parents have gone through in terms of not being prepared for the uncertainty. 2008, what happened this last couple years with the market and inflation. So having cash value life insurance is a great option for some of these people. So, I mean, we have a way to help just about everyone, right? And the thing about being too young is definitely something that we used to talk about a lot at Northwestern Mutual. And that's like, hey, let's at least get you qualified for something now that you have your health, So yeah, there's no better time than the present. Our health can change tomorrow. We can, we could be driving down the road. What was the one thing they used to say, Avila, all the time about getting hit by a Mack truck, right? I mean, that was always their favorite saying. I could be driving down the road to get hit by a Mack truck, and no one is ever expecting that accident to happen, right? So accidents happen every single day. I think
And
Frank,
that's the thing, man, with these accidents. It's just the statistics are is that a lot of people pass away by an accident rather than natural causes these days.
yep. And guys, borrow someone's story as well, right? So Matt just gave you an example of a young girl. Early in my career, when I was at Farmers, I met with a family right before Christmas. So I wrote their home when we had talked about life insurance. They had a little one on the way, and so we had talked about it, and they had put me off, and then right before Christmas, he got a bonus. He's like, hey, you know what? I think it's time that we go ahead and put this in place. So young dad, young mom, and they had just had a baby. The baby was maybe 6, 7 months, something like that. And they went down to Roswell for Christmas. It was late at night, and he was going to get milk for the baby. So he's driving Christmas Eve to the store to go get milk for the baby and gets hit at an intersection by a drunk driver.
Mm.
She calls me the day after Christmas and says, hey, and I forget their name at this point. I can look it up, but hey, John got hit by a drunk driver and he died. I know that we just filled out these applications with you for life insurance. Is it going to pay out? Guys, I did this on December 23rd, wrote the applications, and at that point we took a check for payment. The applications were signed by myself and the client, and I had a check from them sitting on my desk. So I couldn't submit it, right? I couldn't deposit the check. But it was a signed, completed application that I had uploaded into the system already. Farmers paid this family out for it because the application was complete. You know, they were young, 23 years old, you know what I mean? And we all think that we're invincible at that age. You know, one of the things I tell guys all the time is guys, you know, especially when you get the objection about, well, why is it so expensive for me and not for my wife? And I tell them just like this, I'm like, because we do dumb things all the time. I was like, when's the last time you put a safety harness on when you got up on your roof? And they're like, what's a safety harness? I've never done it, right? Like I get up on the roof and I clean the gutters all the time with nothing, right? Like, you know, we do dumb things. That's why rates are higher for males, because we have we tend to put ourselves in different predicaments that are likely to end in our death, you know, result in our death. Anyone else? Any other objections that we can try to handle? And let me give you guys another real quick piece of advice. Chat GPT, like if you get something weird, right? Literally just ask the question like you would, like, hey, how would I handle the objection of someone saying, oh, I'm a college student, I can't afford it. And you'd be surprised by what the response is that Chat GPT will do. And I mean, they literally pull stuff from everything. Jeremy Minor, Andy Elliott, like all these people, and they put it together for you in a clear and concise response. I use that all the time on Switchboard. Be like, oh, how do I do it? You know, and I just type, and I'll copy and paste the response. You know,
Where do you go to ask the Chat GPT thing? Like, is there a specific website, or you just Google it, or like how does that work?
GPT.com.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah.
I used them last week to help me write a flyer in Spanish, and literally I just asked it, I need a life insurance Spanish flyer, and he just started spitting out information. I'm like, wow, I love ChatGPT.
Most of my ads are that way. And then what I'll do, like if you guys ever find a job ad that you like or something, right, for someone that's like I like to take Craig's job ads, right? And I'll say, hey, rewrite this, but make the information about Michael Vigil and the Vigil Agency and the VigilAgency.com. It'll replace all the information, change the wording so it fits what, you know, more like you, and tailors it to you. They'll put in, if you want it to be a fun post, right? They'll put in emojis or emoticons, whatever the case is, and they just make it super simple for you to use, you know. So these tools are available to us. If you're using Canva will create ads, like complete, you know, graphics and ads for you with everything.
And it's GP is in Paul T, right?
Correct.
Or GBT.
Yeah, here, I'm gonna paste it right here.
So I know that when I talked to my person today about with the breast cancer, that basically what I can do is like accidental.
Yep.
Like, what would be some good things to say to her?
So, you know, the way I would address that one is, hey, you know, look, I ran you through a few different carriers. Unfortunately, because of the recent diagnosis, Minnesota doesn't have a carrier that will allow us to write you currently. But one of the ways that we can mitigate the risk is by using a guaranteed advantage plan from, or sorry, you're with Americo, right? So
America, yeah.
yeah, I gotta think about that one just a second. Does Americo offer cashback return of premium on that or no? No.
No.
So with the Americo one, you get $1,000 of whole life benefit, right? And then the difference is an accidental. So accidents are the most common form of death for people in your age group. You know, slip and falls in the bath, in the shower, car accidents, different things like that. And then we can revisit this when, you know, certain amount of time has elapsed, or when you become 45, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I sell a ton of them that way. I mean, with Moo, it's easy, right? Because if they're under 50, they get all their money back on their guaranteed advantage policy. So you're just in a different predicament, Linda. You and Susan Stapleton, man, you guys don't have a lot of the options we have in all the other states.
I just need to get my health license. I just need to study for it and just go take it, and then I can sell boom.
10 hours.
I know, I got it.
The
And,
health
you know, the
license
gals-
is definitely easier than the life insurance license because
I
I
was
took
just
both
gonna
of
say that.
mine at the same time. And I was like, oh, this health portion, piece of cake. Life, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to pass this.
Yep, that's what Catherine said too, because she was prior Aflac, and so she had all the health, but she just needed life. And after she finished, she's like, "Oh my God, this life was way harder than the health side of things." So you know, with how much you know already, you'll probably do pretty good on it. Even
Okay.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine, Linda. I would just knock it out. If you got time to do it this week, just knock it out. Seriously.
Okay.
It just opens you up to so many more options.
That's what I was thinking too, because I could just go into health too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously health license, but like policies and stuff like that.
Yeah, because then you can
Yeah.
offer med supplement, long-term care, you know what I mean? All those other fun things, dental plans, vision plans. And Mutual
Yeah.
Mobile has a lot of those great plans. If you saw who was it? Was it the number 2 or the number 3 person? Lila, she did 5,800 yesterday on just dental plans.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Just
they have
Do
dental
we
plans.
have leads for those? How does she get
No,
all those?
I've never seen a dental plan lead ever.
Yeah, I'm just like, how the heck does she get all these? Because that's not the first time that she's gotten quite a bit of policies from a dental plan.
I think she might be a health agent or works in a health agency, something like that, where if you guys ever look at a dental plan, they're not cheap.
oh no.
But the Mutual of Omaha one is affordable. The wait period is short, right? I've used it. Julia's used the dental plan. We get all of our dental cleanings done. We got Caleb's crown was done because of it. They're gonna cover like 60% of his braces, you know, so there's some great options when it comes to that.
I need to even look into it. I can't say I've ever even looked at them before.
Yeah,
I've never looked at them either.
easy to write,
Or the
guaranteed,
vision.
guaranteed
vision
issue,
portion.
you know what I mean? So yeah, easy commissions.
Well, and there's a lot of companies too that are just pooping on people with benefits. You know, taking away benefits, minimizing it and stuff too. So it's just part of the whole conversation process too
Yeah,
of finding those people.
yeah, just learn to be a holistic planner for your people. You know what I mean? So become their go-to person. And if you can't offer them like general health insurance, right? Team up with a health insurance agency and say, hey, you know, look, I'll send you all my referrals and you do the same, you know? So work together, work in conjunction with someone. Go to a BNI group, find a health agent, walk into an office, you know?
I was going to ask you too, what are some good ways of finding, like you said, it would be a good idea to pair up with an independent PNC, right? Is that what it is, PNC?
Yeah.
Broker? Like, how would I posted on a couple groups I am in with Facebook if there's anybody out there and didn't get really a response for that. So do you have any
That's a personal relationship. You're gonna have to like, who do you have your car insurance with right now?
Westfield, which is also like a broker?
Is that a local agency?
They have a local office, but the agency, like I don't know.
Well, do you work with the local office?
Yeah.
Walk into the local office, say, hey, I'm one of your clients. I do, you know, you guys have my auto in my home or whatever, you know, and say, I'd just like to know what other you guys offer, you know, other product offerings. And if you don't, right, like be like, I'd like to be a partner with you guys, you know, so I can send all my life insurance clients that need auto and home to you guys. You just got to develop the relationship. That's what it
I
comes
have a
to.
relationship with my actual auto insurance person, so
Yeah.
I feel like I could just give her a phone call.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. If you already know your agent, that's exactly
Yeah.
what you want to do.
She's the only person I deal with, and whenever I call the office, she's like, "Oh yeah, Angie's gonna call you back," and I just call him. She's like, "Oh hey, Linda," you know, she's definitely created that relationship with me. So
Yeah.
I feel like I could have that conversation with her. I didn't even think of that.
So when I moved here to North Carolina, I walked into all the Farm Bureau offices and I talked with all of them because they have a very limited offering what they can do, right? So
Yeah.
anytime that they come across someone that they can't get covered with their life insurance, I just say, hey, you know, we can do one of two options. I can bring you in under our umbrella and we can write the policies together, right? Or you can just send them to me and I'll send you a referral fee. Because they're already a licensed agent, right? When you deal with those people, they're going to tell you, oh, I can't get contracted with you because my contract here says that I'm not allowed to, right?
Yeah.
But every time you write a policy and an issue pays, you can send them $50, $100, whatever the case is, so.
Are you allowed to do that?
decide.
I didn't think you were legally allowed to do that.
So you can with a licensed insurance agent. Because they're licensed, right?
Not life, but are they life licensed or do
Oh,
they?
yeah. Most of them are life licensed and they offer life insurance policies. They're just not able to get them covered through their offerings with like Farm Bureau.
So what's the best way to kind of do that in regards to like realtors? So like utilizing a realtor as a resource to like kind of build that.
That's different, right? So same approach. You can say, hey, if you get licensed, anyone that you send me, we can just do a 50-50 split. I'll do all the work. Or do whatever split you want, right? If not, then it's the whatever the state that you live in, whatever that cap is, and you can look it up. So like North Carolina, it's $25. You can't give them more than $25, and it can't be contingent on if the policy goes through. Yeah, so get mortgage lender license. Yeah, I've done that. That's how Matt and I grew this originally, right? Is we had a whole bunch of realtors, mortgage lenders, and all those people. They would get their license. They would send us the work. They would send us the client, and we would do the work for them. And they would just get a 50% commission for doing that, for just referring them.
So pretty much it would be like you're bringing on a new person, but only in the sense of doing app splits with them. They just have to be licensed in that side of things. And yeah, they still do their realtor thing with this as like a back end
Yep,
thing.
exactly.
So they have to be life license to be able to do the split.
To do the split, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
If not, I mean, just look up whatever your state is, and see what the max gift is, right? Some of them are $25, some are $50, some states are only 10, and then it can't be cash. It has to be like a gift card or like, you know what I mean, or a gift of some sort. But yeah, you can work it out with them.
Good to
Just
know,
don't-
because I have tons of realtor friends that I've been talking to, and I'm like, yeah, so if you sell a house, let me know and I can get them mortgage protected.
Yeah, and see, all the realtors I work with, I have a double whammy, right? So with them, I sell them, and if I had a picture of a Cutco vegetable knife, so it's a big box blade, and then they'll order like 10 of them. We'll get their logo engraved on it, and every time they sell a house, they give that to their client, and then they give them my card that says, "Hey, Michael will have protection insurance." So.
I'm on the phone, babe.
Yep.
Love it. Good.
All right, guys, we're at the top of the hour. Want to be respectful of time. So if you guys have any questions, I'll end the recording and then I'll stay on here for a little bit.